It is 6:37 now. In your vote this morning, the November special elections are here. Fox 12's Leah Kamana is joining us in studio. And Leah, at the top of the hour, you broke down several measures for Oregon voters. What about our Washington voters? What are they voting on today?
Washington voters, you have until 8 tonight to turn those ballots in. Your best bet today is to drop it in an official drop box, many of which are 24/7. You can, of course, go to your local voting center, but hours may vary, so make sure you check before you go. If you plan to mail your ballot, you must ensure it is postmarked by today in order for it to count. But let's break down some of those key issues on your ballot. Starting in Vancouver, the first would create 4 voting districts in the city, along with 4 city council positions. If approved, City Council would be required to appoint a districting commission to divide the city into 4 geographic voting districts of roughly equal population. It would also require 4 City Council members be elected from the district in which they reside, and 2 City Council members and the mayor be elected at large in a citywide election. Another vote in Vancouver would create a levy of 15 cents per $1,000 of addressed property value to fund public safety and police. This would include additional police officers, equipment, and criminal justice system costs. And on the statewide level, voters will decide whether Washington will be able to amend its constitution, allowing money in Washington's long-term care fund to be invested, allowing the state fund dedicated to providing long-term care benefits for eligible seniors and people with disabilities to be invested as authorized by law. Again, you have until 8 tonight to submit your ballot. We'll be keeping a close eye on the outcome of all of these votes and more, bringing you updates both on air and on the Fox 12 app. And coming up in the next half hour of Good Day Oregon, we're going to be breaking down those key measures for Oregon voters once again. Reporting in studio, Leah Kamana, Good Day Oregon.